Michigan recently got a commitment from three-star tight end Zach Marshall out of Carlsbad, California. Zach Marshall is 6'4", 220, and he is ranked the number 60 athlete in the 24/7 composite. He's recruited as a tight end, and this gives Michigan 2 tight ends for the 2023 class, Marshall and fellow three-star Deacon Tonielli. This also brings Michigan up to 14 commitments in the 2023 class, which is the number 27 overall class, only number 6 in the Big Ten right now. Number 1 in the Big Ten for recruiting rankings is Ohio State, of course, and number 2 is Penn State. Then you got Northwestern, Iowa, Michigan State, all ahead of Michigan. I don't think Michigan will finish 6th. I don't see any way that Northwestern and Iowa both finish ahead of Michigan. Michigan State still could, but I think Michigan will probably end up finishing 3rd in the Big Ten in recruiting. If they want to pass Penn State, they're going to have to make a big jump and flip some recruits. Got to give Michigan State some credit. They're doing pretty well on the recruiting trail with 10 four-star commitments. Michigan also had their barbecue at the Big House at the end of July. Bryce Marich tweeted out, while Michigan didn't land a bunch of commitments from their summer recruiting event, barbecue at the Big House, they definitely helped themselves with a number of prospects, especially in the 2024 class. And I think they lead for a handful now as well. The barbecue at the Big House is where Zach Marshall received his offer from Michigan. He didn't have one going into the weekend, but he received one from Grant Newsome after an impressive workout in front of the coaching staff, according to this article from Maize n Brew. Marshall said, "It's an amazing place. It's a special place. Ann Arbor is an amazing town. I love the small town feel with a lot of people. It feels like home and a very big Michigan family." Other notable offers that Zach Marshall had were Arizona, Boise State, Cal, Colorado State, who Michigan faces in week 1, Utah, and Washington State. And apparently Utah was making a pretty big push for Marshall, but Zach pulled the trigger to commit to Michigan. One notable thing for Zach Marshall is that he's the teammate of 2024 5-star quarterback Julian Sayin, and Sayin tweeted about Marshall's commitment to Michigan, saying Michigan is getting a great player and he'll be a nice addition to that offense. It could possibly help Michigan's chances with Sayin slightly, but it's looking like he's probably going to commit to Georgia. Also, Michigan should be getting a pretty big-time recruit back on campus on October 29th. King Joseph Edwards, 4-star athlete from Georgia, plans on attending the Michigan State-Michigan game. To quote Edwards himself, he says, "It's the biggest stadium in college football. I'm hella excited." Michigan has some work to do, though, because him being from Georgia, he's already got crystal balls predicting him to the Georgia Bulldogs, of course, because they get everyone all the time. Edwards also had some high praise for Harbaugh as he attended the barbecue at the Big House. He said, "I ate and spoke to the position coaches. I also saw the stadium, took pics, and spoke to the head coach. He's a living legend. He told me he liked my size and speed. He said I looked ready to hit the field and I'd fit in perfect in his program. What stood out most was the coaches waiting for me to arrive, and they're also very interested in what my passions are outside of football, trying to get to know me. When I pulled up, the defensive coordinator and defensive line coach were waiting for me. It shows they are really interested in me playing for their team. They are building a relationship with me. Good stuff." Edwards is currently the number 34 overall prospect in the 2024 class, number 7 athlete in the nation. Also, new offensive coordinator Sharon Moore spoke on recruiting a little bit in this On3 article, which I'll link in the description. He said, "I try to do as much as I can and as much as I did before. Obviously, with the responsibilities I have now, there's a little less than that. It's kind of divided up to other people. So I'm still doing my part, but I'm on the other side of it trying to make sure that from an offensive standpoint, we are where we need to be. We've been good. It's just been a steady pace and excited to see where it goes, especially when the dead period is done and we can get rolling again." And yeah, maybe Michigan doesn't finish with a very highly rated class. Who knows? My guess is that they'll still flip some recruits and land in the top 15. On the field performance in the fall won't hurt things. It should help Michigan with recruits. There are always going to be late flips, and Michigan has shown that they do that. Michigan doesn't really do as well early in the recruiting as they do later compared to other teams. So we'll see how it goes. A lot of people were bummed out about Michigan missing out on 2023 quarterback Dante Moore and 2024 quarterback, especially CJ Carr, grandson of Lloyd Carr, because they're both in-state products. They kind of whiffed on those. But if they can make up for it with a great 2024 class, especially if they land somebody like quarterback Jaden Davis, then I think a lot will be forgiven. In my opinion, there are worse things than not finishing top 10 in recruiting. I tend to not freak out too much over recruiting and stars, and I know that stars do matter. Obviously, there's a correlation between the teams that recruit the best and the teams consistently finishing high at the end of the season. But I think it's way too early to freak out. Michigan's put together some good classes lately. This one maybe we'll finish it a little lower, but that's all right. Player development is just as important. Winning on the field is just as important. And getting the right players for Michigan who want to be there, who buy into the system, who buy into the offense that they're running, who buy into the defense that they're running is just as important. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. I got more Michigan football content coming, and go Blue.